dangerous as hell. Those are Ted Cruz's words, the senator speaking out about Trump's FCC Chairman Brendan Carr and his threats to ABC to deal with Jimmy Kimmel the easy way, or it would be done the hard way. Here's Cruz.
Look, I like Brendan Carr. He's a good guy. He's the chairman of the FCC. I work closely with him. But what he said there is dangerous as hell. He says, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafioso coming into a bar going, nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Okay, well, there it is. As we've said from the beginning, this is what it is. And tonight, Trump is not happy with his friend, Senator Ted Cruz.
I think Brendan Carr is a courageous person. I think Brendan Carr is a great American patriot. So I disagree with Ted Cruz on that.
Carr is courageous and a patriot, says the President of the United States, for what he said. So let's just play it again. What did he say about ABC after Kimmel's monologue, which included comments about Charlie Kirk and the suspect in his murder?
We have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
And within hours of that warning, ABC pulled Kimmel off the air indefinitely. And Trump's assault on the media has it's gotten a lot louder even since then. Tonight, the president, in his second confrontation this week with ABC White House reporter Jonathan Karl, threw a lot of insults at Karl, his network, and other networks, all after he was asked this. Let me play it.
You've said that you restored free speech in America.
Yeah.
Is that free speech including for people who are harshly critical of you, for your political opponents, for people who say things you don't like?
I've become immune to
treat you
it.
unfairly?
I've become immune to it. There's never been a person that's had more unfair publicity than me, and that's why your network paid me $15 million, or $16 million, I believe, to be exact, George Slopadopoulos, and that's why CBS paid me a lot of money, too. And that's why I sued the New York Times 2 days ago for a lot of money. Because I'm winning. I mean, I'm winning the cases. And the reason I'm winning is because you're guilty, John. You're guilty. ABC is a terrible network, a very unfair network, and you should be ashamed of yourself. NBC is equally bad. I don't know who's worse. I think they're equally bad. And, you know, for you to stand there and act so innocent and ask me a question like that. But look, you paid a big price because you were dishonest, John. The reason I won that lawsuit was because you were dishonest. You were proven to be dishonest. And so you can't sit back and just say, oh, well, what do you think? You know, like you're some wonderful person. You're not a wonderful person. Frankly, you're a terrible reporter. You know it, and so do I.
I mean, can we just take a step back and realize that there's the insanity and absurdity of that entire exchange? For the record, and I guess it's got to just be said, Jonathan Karl is the best of the best, and certainly doesn't deserve to be spoken of as a terrible reporter, but Trump has free speech too. And on the point of suing the New York Times, it was just today that Trump's $15 billion lawsuit against the Times was flatly rejected by a federal judge nominated by former President George H.W. Bush, the judge calling it decidedly improper and impermissible, comparing the 85-page lawsuit to a megaphone for public relations. And as Jimmy Kimmel's future at ABC remains unclear, although, they pulled him off the air indefinitely, dozens of ABC affiliates across the country were planning to air Charlie Kirk tribute specials during Kimmel's usual time slot tonight. Well, the former CEO of Disney, Michael Eisner, who led the company for 2 decades, has come out and broken his silence. Doesn't usually come out and talk about things with the company, but he did tonight. And he said this: "Where has all the leadership gone? If not for university presidents, law firm managing partners, and corporate chief executives standing up against bullies, who then will step up for the First Amendment?" The suspending indefinitely of Jimmy Kimmel immediately after the chairman of the FCC's aggressive yet hollow threatening of the Disney company is yet another example of out-of-control intimidation. Elizabeth Wagmeister begins our coverage out front. As anyone watching knows, Elizabeth has been leading the breaking news on this Kimmel story, and you're here again tonight, Elizabeth, getting new information about a really important meeting that Kimmel had with ABC after the firing, or the indefinite on hold. Sorry, make sure I say that correctly. What are you hearing?
Yes, Aaron. So I'm hearing that yesterday on Thursday that Jimmy Kimmel met with top ABC executives at his lawyer's office. Keyword there, at his lawyer's office. Who was present? It was Jimmy Kimmel, his lawyer, his manager, and a few top ABC executives. Now, I hear that there was no resolution with this meeting, so we have no indication of if there's a path forward for his show, what that path forward may be. But as we spoke about last night, Aaron, you know that I am hearing from sources that Disney is hopeful that they can bring Jimmy Kimmel's show back. They love Jimmy. They would love to bring him back. But what my sources had told me is that they told Jimmy that the temperature has to come down for you to come back. And that is not what he wanted to do, at least on Wednesday night. So it remains to be seen what happens with the show, if we will ever see Jimmy Kimmel back on that set doing his show. But I have to tell you that what I'm hearing from all across Hollywood, sources outside of Disney, the Hollywood community, the creative community, artists, actors, writers, they are all backing Kimmel, and they want answers from ABC. They want answers to stand behind him. They want ABC to reinstate him. You have Hollywood guilds like the WGA, which represents the writers, and SAG-AFTRA, which represents the actors, which are all rallying behind Kimmel speaking out for free speech. You have protests outside of Disney. Today, the WGA leading a protest. So this is a big issue because Hollywood knows this is not just about Jimmy Kimmel. This is not just about Disney. This is about FCC threats and serious threats from the Trump administration that could impact all of these companies, Aaron.
Yes, could impact everything to news delivery itself. And Elizabeth, thank you very much. All right, Bill Kristol's with me now, Lulu Garcia-Navarro, and Elliot Williams. I appreciate all three of you. So, Lulu, Senator Ted Cruz, was silent for a bit, okay? I was looking all day yesterday to see when he was going to come out and comment on this because he has been so clear about free speech. And even in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, he spoke out that even people who celebrated it, right, free speech. This one was napalm to touch, okay? And he thought about it and he waited a whole day, but then he came out today and he said, no, not okay. How significant is it?
It is significant. Ted Cruz is, an ally of the president, a huge supporter of Donald Trump. But Ted Cruz is also something else, and I have this in common with him. He is the child of a Cuban refugee. His family left Cuba in the late 1950s, as did mine. And so we know that when you start down a path of trying to curtail free speech, it is a path that leads to nowhere good. It is not the path to democracy. It is often the path to dictatorship. And so it is good that he said it. It was good that he's clear. I think the other question is, he is a sitting senator. What is he going to do now?
Right, I guess that is a crucial question. So, Bill, when President Trump comes out, and look, he said he thinks Ted Cruz is wrong. He didn't, however, say that his actions were a hostile act against this administration, as he has to Thomas Massie, who's been pushing for release of the Epstein files, right? So Trump withheld some fire. He withheld some fire. We'll see where this goes. But, Ted Cruz went and did the whole, put on the accent to be Goodfellas, to act this whole thing out. He's obviously not, going to back down, right? He has made his point. Will there be a price to pay for with Trump or not?
Well, Representative Massie actually has done things, cast votes, introduced resolutions that have really discomforted Trump and challenged him. We'll see if Ted Cruz does that. I'm pretty skeptical. Just one other point. I was struck when you played the tape of Trump going after John Carl, pretty disgracefully, I would say, but whatever. He cites his victories, the payments from ABC and CBS. Isn't there a lesson there? The bullying worked. And once some bullying works, you just bullies keep on bullying. And so for me, so much of the story here, Jimmy Kimmel's a huge figure. I understand that and all that. But so much of the story is the progressive and repeated capitulation of corporations to Trump, which encourages him to do more and then sort of lays the groundwork for the next corporation to say, well, gee, if we conceded on this, how are we going to stand up on that? Or how's the other one going to stand up on that? So that for me, it's a very bad pattern and it's getting worse.